Cassie in court running us through that.
Back to Diddy.
Yeah, back to Diddy. Running us through the video of her being dragged in that hotel room back in 2016. So people have been trying to figure out kind of like what the narrative is. Was she trying to get away from a freak off, or was this two people so jealous, so upset? Cassie says that was her trying to leave a freak off 100%. She says that she had shot Diddy a text message, which they brought up in court. In that text, she's texting him and saying, I want to F-O so bad. That's how they talked about freak offs. The text is to Pop-Up. She calls him Pop-Up because she alleges that he wanted her to call him what she used to call her grandfather.
I was about to say, Pop-Up is for granddaddy.
Yeah.
Well, that's when you know the girl way too young for you.
Pop-Up.
It's one thing when the girl say daddy.
Yeah.
Pop-Up.
She said on the stand too, she was like, yeah, weird, I know, but whatever. In the text messages, she's saying that she wants to freak off. And I think the prosecutors brought this up early because they want to get ahead of it, because she's saying she's initiating it, right? But she's also alleging at the same time she was trying to get away from it and couldn't. So she said that the reason why she shot this text and the reason why they were even in that hotel in LA the day that she got dragged back in 2016 was because she had this major movie premiere coming up on Monday. That video that we saw, she alleges happened over the weekend. She believes it was Friday. She said she initiated that freak off because she wanted to make him happy. When he was pleased, when his moods were great, she would be okay. She didn't want anything to ruin the premiere. She didn't want to be told that she couldn't go or that, to have bruises or anything allegedly. So she said she did the freak off. They got there, they were drinking, they were partying with one of the escorts, a male escort, and somehow she ends up getting hit in her face by him. He allegedly punches her in her face. She's bruised in the face now, and she said at that point, she's like, I got to get out of here because if it gets worse, she's thinking about the premiere and she's scared. So we see her in the video trying to get away, and that's when she says that, she alleges he dragged her back into the room, took her stuff back into the room. But she was trying to explain why she was even there in the first place. And again, just, quickly put in context to that video, she said this is her trying to get away, can't get away, but doing this because if it makes him happy, she can be in some bit of peace.
What was the reaction in the courtroom when all this was happening? Even the semen on the nipples. Like, what was the reaction with Puff, the family, even Cassie's husband who was there? Like, what was the reaction?
So I was sitting behind Cassie's brother and Cassie's husband. Her brother was a bit uneasy when they were playing the video. They didn't really react too much to the whole semen on nipple and a lot of stuff with the men. And I don't know if it's because everybody knows that we're all watching them. Neither did Puff's family. But there was one point where they talked about all the drugs that they would be on during these freak offs, because she said she wouldn't remember a lot of them because of them. And they asked her, well, how were you reading up on drugs? How did you know who to call? And she said it was because of Diddy. And then they asked her, well, whose drug contact was it? Like, whose drug dealer was it? And she said she alleges it was Puff's. And I watched him, and Puff was looking at her, and he was like, he made this face like, come on, man. And I was like, oh, wow. And that was the first time that I saw him visibly, like, because other than that, it was blank stare at her the whole time.
Listen, I told y'all yesterday that video is going to be the most damning piece of evidence in this case, because it's almost impossible to see that video and give Diddy the benefit of the doubt for anything. And I know folks, say, oh, he's not on trial for domestic violence, but the beating part is part of the coercion and manipulation that defines trafficking in a court of law. When you get people to engage in sexual acts through violence or drugs or emotional manipulation, that all constitutes trafficking in a court of law. I guarantee you what you're going to see over the next few days is them defining what sexual trafficking is. They're going to be talking about the Mann Act. They're going to be talking about the coercion and the manipulation, the combo of drugs and violence and the emotional manipulation that he allegedly used to get people to do sexual things. I guarantee you they're going to start talking about the transportation of prostitutes. That's all of that goes into a sexual trafficking thing.
I agree with what you're saying, because they set it up real good just to bring that landing in.
What's the difference between a prostitute and an escort?
So the way that they were having a conversation yesterday was like, escorts are people that, like, not even an escort, but they were calling them escorts, but a lot of the men that they were enlisting from like Backpage, Craigslist, and these like male service escort services. Backpage is old, right? Where people that were supposed to be there, they come and you like enjoy their time. So like y'all
buying cock off Craigslist,
bro.
Shut up,
and
man.
she was having to use her real phone number to respond to the ads.
There was booty on Backpages.
She didn't have to post. She didn't have to post them, but she had to use her real phone number to respond to the ads. She said. But to answer your question, they're still really defining it. But from what I'm getting from it, it seems like an escort isn't supposed to be having sex with you. They're supposed to just be there and like you enjoy their time. You might date with them. They might come and do like bring a stripper.
They might come and come.
Don't give me the line.
This is why
I'm
was mad right now.
I want a stiff nipple with a cum topper. You ever been on the
That's why people can't take it serious.
Nut on the nipple is crazy.
I could never
crazy.
take y'all to court. Y'all would embarrass
No,
me.
we get kicked out.
It's pews in the court. I have to sit y'all in the back like back in church.
That should be a drink. That should be a drink at a bar. Nut on the nipple.
What?
Wow. Watch your will start. They already got a slippery nipple. The slippery nipple is already in.
And this is a slippery nipple. This is why we need the Boondocks. This is why you need the Chappelle Show. Okay. This is great material, guys.
Jesus.